Welcome everyone. This is episode 9, season 3, Hit It Where They Mow, Talking Golf in Texas. I'm your host, Pat Wheeler, and I have two very special guests with me today. Mrs. Melanie Till and Mr. Randy Wade. They're both with the Tempest Golf Club in Gladewater near Longview, just off Interstate 20. And we're going to talk about the history of the golf club and also about some of their amenities and just the ambiance of the place. All things Tempest Golf Club. But before we do that, we're going to go over our sponsors and thank our sponsors. This program would not be available without wonderful sponsors. And from my right to my left, first off is Veritex Bank. We want to thank Veritex Bank, the golf bank of Texas. Mr. Malcolm Holland and Martin Thomas and all the gang there at Veritex Bank. Perfect for personal banking or small commercial loans. Check out the Veritex Bank, Veritex Community Bank. And then next to that hat there, as you see going across, is one of my golf courses, which is Dornick Hills of Ardmore, Oklahoma, the home course of the great Perry Maxwell, one of the great golf designers in the history of golf. And just a 90-minute trip from the Metroplex to Dornick Hills. They have wonderful non-resident memberships available there, and if you just want to take a foursome up there, call the golf shop. The fun hat here is the Tempest Golf Club, and I have Melanie and Randy here today. We're going to talk more about the Tempest Golf Club, and just a reminder, it's just 2 miles off Interstate 20 near Longview, and only about 2-hour drive from the Metroplex. And East Texas golf as it was meant to be: towering pines, rolling hills, water. The beauty of East Texas, the Tempest Golf Club, perfect for a play and stay trip during the weekend or during the week. And last but not least is Niagara Conservation, a great supporter of golf, especially the LPGA women's golf. Niagara Conservation, and here's Tricia to tell you more about Niagara Conservation.
Thanks, Pat, and thanks, Niagara, for your continuing support of nonprofit organizations. If you want to get the ultimate experience in cleanliness and comfort without breaking the bank, and transform your bathrooms with Niagara. From toilets to bidets, Niagara has the perfect solution for any bathroom project. Niagara's award-winning products not only outperform competitors, but they also outdesign them. Thanks to innovations like stealth technology, Niagara's products can use half as much water as the competitors, providing you with a solution that will help with the environment and save you money. Shop now on Amazon or HomeDepot.com.
Well, welcome to Hit It Where They Mow, Melanie Till and Randy Wade. It is an honor and a privilege and a lot of fun to have you here. I've known you guys now for, well, Randy going on 10 or 15 years and Melanie going on 10. And the Tempest Golf Club just keeps getting better and better, and we want to talk a little bit about its history today. And Melanie, you're real involved with that history because it all started, what, 7 or 8 years ago that your dad became involved?
Yeah, I always have to remind myself when I was pregnant with my second kid because I'm like, wait, what year was that? That's my barometer. But so yeah, it started at a restaurant actually around the block from here. My husband and my dad and I were having dinner, and my dad was just distraught over this investment that he made in East Texas. And we started talking, and my husband just happened to meet a golf course broker and made the connection. And that is kind of the very short story of why we are here today. So yeah, it's
so 2017, 16.
I would say it's because the renovation was in 18. We broke ground.
Broke ground September of 18.
No, 16. Right, and then
you opened in September of 18.
Yeah, open. Yeah, sorry. See, we get our years mixed up. So September 16 was when we broke ground. So it would have been the year prior, probably, because they spent at least 6 months analyzing all of East Texas and seeing where we could fit into the landscape, literally and figuratively. Right. So it was a lack of superior golf courses. Right. And my dad, being the person, the human that he is, if you give him an inch and say, hey, you could be, they dangled this carrot. It was, you can be the best golf course in East Texas. And he grabbed it and ran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember exactly where I was the first time I spoke with your dad, Joe Bruno, who is a very accomplished litigator, he would say, an attorney in New Orleans. And I called to try to speak to Joe Bruno, and I'm thinking I'm going to talk to some secretary and maybe he'll call me back. In like 10 seconds, I'm talking to Joe. And it's like we've known each other our whole lives. And he is my contemporary. We certainly have different backgrounds, but he is a wonderful man. He's done a wonderful thing in East Texas building this golf course. And I think one of the first things he did, he brought in Mr. Jeffrey Brower. And Jeff is a well-known, well-esteemed golf architect nationally, not just in Texas. He happens to be based here in Dallas or Arlington. And Randy, I know you came aboard pretty soon after Jeff had started working with the Brunos.
I did, and it was I was blessed to be hired in March of 2018 prior to opening in September of 18.
Okay.
And so I got to watch a lot of that sod go down on the ground and a lot of the dirt moving that everybody talks about. But man, I was blown away the first time I saw the place. Before I was even hired, drove over there and took a look and saw the fairways and saw the rolling hills and all that was going on, and I want to be a part of this. And so I was very blessed to be hired, and it's been a great 5 years at Tempest Golf Club, and want to go for many more. But simply the Tempest, and that describes the course to a T. I'm going to let Melanie talk about how the name came about.
I think that is a great name. I love that. And as I said in my story, not to toot my own horn, it might have had something to do with the storm, but before we do that, you mentioned something that I wanted to dwell on, and that is I heard about this course being built in my native East Texas. I'm a Tyler boy, but I know a lot about Longview and Gladewater. And I drove over there and I was blown away. And there was not any sod on it. It was just, as they say, the corridors through the pine trees and the bluffs. And I just thought, there's nothing like this in East Texas. There's some good courses, Willowbrook. There's other ones that are good. But there's nothing this big, this majestic.
It's a very large course, Pat. Right. And you talk about big, you've got the elevation changes, number 4, number 12, number 16. There's several of the holes, could be signature holes, all 18 of them. And I'll tell a funny story about that. We were standing on the 12th tee box with Jeff Brower, and we were doing outlines for traps, and I said, Jeff, this is my favorite hole. And he turned to me very quickly and said, as I said, this is a number 1 signature hole. He turned very quickly and said, Randy, there's 18 signature holes here. So that's the beauty of the tall trees and the corridors you're talking about, is that they're just carved out of the trees of East Texas and the rolling hills. And it's just it's a great place. It's a big golf course, so come with your A game and move up a tee box. And
ready to be challenged too. I hear that is what I constantly get.
Which brings us to the name,
right?
Tempest, right?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, the name, and that's part of the ambiance. And tell us about the name, Melanie.
So the name was actually when it was first slated. We were sitting in the new Neptune's Bar and Grill, and the man that we hired to analyze East Texas and kind of guide us as to what to do came up with it. And I think it was kind of one of the ones he had in his back pocket, and he just couldn't wait for the right property to kind of suggest it to, right? Really? And so at first, a couple of us shot it down pretty quickly. If you rhyme it with other names, it could kind of come off. It came off to me rough. And didn't allude to the beauty of the property. But I think to my dad, he saw the Shakespeare novel, right? It's Shakespeare.
Play.
Please tell me. Yeah. The play, not novel.
Which was shown at the Kilgore Shakespeare Festival last year.
Oh, I love it. I didn't know that. So I think for him, there was an allusion to the actual meaning of the term, to the play, to a storm, right? To the fact that it's challenging and it's powerful. And we are on a pretty powerful piece of property, right? So I think that he liked that it alluded to many different things, and it's a little bit playful in that way. So we
and unique.
And unique. It is truly unique. And I have come to love the name because I think it really does allude to all that we encompass, right? And it's challenging, and we're constantly making ourselves better, right? And evolving. And I think that's what a storm kind of is, right? And we're taking East Texas by storm.
Absolutely. And there's the external storm in golf and the internal storm, as we know as golfers. And I was just thinking that has always been my favorite hole, number 12, the par 3. And you were filming me or photographing me.
I got some good photos then.
Unknown to me. And I finally hit what I thought was a great golf shot there.
And
7 iron, right on the pin, and I'm just posing, and it hit short. And I turned around, I flipped the club, and I said, it was a clean word, thankfully.
Although you're in good company, so.
But and your children were there, and I was so embarrassed. But it could have been worse. But anyway, that is a great hole. Why is it a great hole? It goes over this incredible chasm between one hill and another hill, and within that chasm is all kinds of vegetation that is
and balls.
Yeah.
Many balls.
Yeah. If you went down there, you would probably find quite a few balls. There's so much to talk about the way that you open the course. It's near and dear to my heart. I'll just, if I skip over something, you guys remind me of some other things. But you did something that I'm very proud of, and that is that when you opened in September, late September of 18, you honored East Texas golf legends. And you've got this giant putting green down near the first tee box. And in the middle of it is a little island with a plaque honoring Jackie Cupid, Buster Cupid, Homero Blancas, and Roy Pace. And to me, that's a touch of class. And you made a point. It's a big putting green, not as big as the new one in Frisco, but it's a whole different deal. And that had to make you feel good, Randy, the way it was kicked off.
I was very proud that we decided to kind of honor East Texas legends, and those names that you mentioned are great people. And we lost one of them this year. Recently, Buster passed away. But, you know, I see Jackie and Roy Pace quite often. I talk to Homero on the phone every now and then, but don't get to see him as much. But Roy's just down the road, still very active with the first tee of the Piney Woods. And Jackie will come over occasionally, meet Roy, and they'll play around the golf. And so it's always good to sit and visit and listen to the great stories that they have, because they truly are gentlemen. And that is what golf is really all about, class and being a gentleman, and the values that Roy has taught with those youngsters in East Texas is just amazing.
Yeah, just to remind people, Jackie and Buster are both natives of what was called Gregton. It's now Pine Tree area of Longview, just down the road. Roy was originally from Judson, just north of Longview, but he's been based out of Longview his whole life. Homero is a Houstonian. Yeah. But Homero shot his famous 55 about only 2 miles from the Tempest, or maybe 3.
Not far.
Not far, maybe 5 at the most, which was right off of the old Highway 80 there in Premier Road. It was a little 9-hole course built within a refinery. That's a whole nother story, but you got it kicked off with a wonderful party. I remember that. Your whole family was there.
That was great.
Yeah.
Well, and my husband actually, I can't believe I don't remember the exact story, but he played with Roy Pace right when he was a child up in Connecticut. Do you remember that?
Roy is in the Connecticut Golf Hall of Fame. He's not in the Texas Golf Hall of Fame yet.
We need to change that.
Yes, yeah. But you spoke of your husband at the initial meeting. He's quite the golfer. He is. He's tall, and it's not an easy game for the tall man.
He wishes he got to play more. So we are hoping, you know, with kids' schedules and everything, it gets a little difficult. But we'll be there next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, they say that golf is my associate George Mayshock, that I call my trusty sidekick. it's the largest small fraternity in the world.
Right.
If you play golf, you know, you're connected.
Instant connection.
Yeah, and I felt that way with your husband. Tell me your husband's first name again.
Adam.
Adam, yes. And a pretty good golfer.
He is for as little as he plays,
right,
he gets out there and he comes home happy for the most part. Yeah,
right.
So.
Now, Joe doesn't play golf, your dad.
Not a lick.
But he's grown to love it, and I remember when Tony Romo was over qualifying, and your dad got to visit with Tony and get his thoughts on the course.
Yeah, nothing but great things to say.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
He's a good guy. He really is.
He's a good guy. I wish I could have been there that day. I forget what kept me in Dallas.
It was a good day. We had the U.S. amateur qualifying.
That's right.
Tempest.
I was over there.
It's been a couple of years ago now, but Tony was there and played. He had just finished playing Wisconsin in a 4-day deal. And he was back was bothering him, and you know, I remember that conversation Tony had with Joe, and he said Tony was going to take a few putts before the second 18, and Joe said, "Tony, how do you like our course?" He said, "It's great, Mr. Bruno. However, next time I'm gonna ride."
right. His back was bothering him.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised he can even walk. You know, having played pro football for 15 years or 10 or whatever he did. Speak to the ambiance, though. You're a New Orleans girl. You went to the University of Georgia.
I did.
But, you know, there's something about the Tempest, and this is Texas golf, but, you know, one of my sponsors is up in Oklahoma, very close to Texas. I love Oklahoma. And I love Louisiana, and Louisiana just has a little different feel, and you get that little Louisiana feel when you're at the Tempest. And it's some of the art, the name of the restaurant. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, again, you know, my dad's a project guy, and he is if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. So the bar for us was the main focus. Okay. We wanted it to be a wonderful, beautiful space for anyone to come and have a drink, whether it's after lunch or before dinner or after a round, right? So we really needed to meld sophistication with comfort, and I played a little bit of a role in helping. My stepmom also was there, picking out tiles, stain, carpet, everything from the trim to the grout, right? And that for me is fun because it also is what I do in my job that pays me money in real estate. Right. So yeah, that was a lengthy process. And then my dad also is he's an art fanatic. And he wanted to put some, you know, they're all replicas. He found someone to make replicas of some of his favorite pieces, including the Tempest behind the bar.
Right.
And when it first went up, we had some comments because, you know, it's a little,
it's powerful.
It tells a story, it's powerful. But I think that, you know, in a space, you really, to make it cozy, you've got to have the art on the walls. You've got it, not just all TVs, right? We wanted a level of sophistication that was different than maybe what golf courses, I don't know. I hear people that come from California and they're like, this is the nicest clubhouse we've ever been in.
Well, it's not, no knock on Arnold Palmer, but it's not Arnold Palmer or Jack Nicklaus. It's a little different.
It's a little different.
It's nice different. Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to create a space that was welcoming, flexible, you know, because we do host weddings, we host events, Christmas parties. We have a private room that we call the Hunt Room. And that features some art that actually was handed down from my great-grandfather. So, you know, there's a lot of nodes, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of little family heirlooms that are kind of hidden around the property.
Well, we had a dinner one night in the Hunt Room, and someone moved the table, and I was holding my breath the whole time because I knew it was an antique. You know, I knew it was a family heirloom, but thancallfully nothing got broken or anything like that. But,
not that night.
Yeah, right. Well, right. And speaking of the, you know, I alluded to it in my story that there's nothing that gives you that Louisiana feel or French feel than having the paintings of Napoleon. And I see where they're coming out with a movie about Napoleon, starring
I saw a video.
Joaquin Phoenix,
Yes.
which again will put all that back in the limelight.
Yep.
But while we're talking about it, you're very accommodating for events, weddings, dinners, parties.
Yep.
You have the partition thing that can open up and into a big room there. It's not the highest point of the course, but you're still looking out at the golf course.
You've got, what, 180 views of the golf
Great
course?
view.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
one
it's
tee box, 18-6,
fantastic.
putting green.
And if it's nice, you got a beautiful patio there.
Great patio. Again, drinks after work or, you know, for events. We literally, we looked at the space from a bird's eye view and we thought, how can we utilize the scenery that we have, right? And make it a really beautiful ambiance. I mean, we have so much to offer. We've only just begun.
That's right.
And
5 years and we've just begun. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and I think that the mentality we have is constantly striving to do better and to fix what's broken, but also improve on what we have. And so we're not close to what we think our potential is.
There you go.
Which is hard for me to even say because every time I go out there, people just rave about us, right? And I'm like, oh, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I'm wanting to live long enough for you to build those townhouses, but I know that's a way off. We'll get more into that.
It's not. We're close. We're close.
Okay.
Adam actually asked about it yesterday. He's like, where are we on sewage? I'm like, oh, the dreaded toilet talk, right?
Right.
So we're closer. We're every day, every conversation, we're closer than we were. To the point where I'm like, can I just do this? I'm just going to bring builders in. We're just going to start building.
Okay.
So we're close.
Okay. Now, I wanted to mention about, I was just thinking about improving and so forth. You've gotten some really good ratings lately from the Dallas Morning News and some other.
We've had some good rankings in the Dallas Morning News, which is kind of the annual everybody look to. And we hope to continue to improve in those rankings. As Melanie said, I'm kind of all about continuous improvement. As we evaluate where we've been and where we're going, we're just going to keep going forward, but not just keep going forward, but let's go up. You know, and so that's our goal. You know, Joe Bruno wants us to be the best golf course in the state.
Right.
In the
not
state.
East Texas.
Not East Texas.
And I think that we're on that path, and we'll continue to be on that path. And you know, there's little things that I see on the golf course every day that we're starting to work on. It's on the board, and you know, we're fixing this, we're doing that, we're making this better. You know, so it's some of the things that people have experienced out there that they don't see. Some of the things that I see when I ride around, that I know, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that. You know, they see the view and the beauty and the hole, and they remember, that tough par 5, and I could have made a 5, but I made an 8. Yeah. You know, or I birdied that hole, and so you know, it's a challenge, and it needs to be a challenge. Golf is a challenge. Life is a challenge, but the fairways are really more forgiving than they look. You got some uneven lies, but they're wide.
Yeah, you got room to hit the ball.
You got room to hit the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that. As a non-golfer at the table.
I love to mention that, you know, it looks so intimidating and everything, and then you had a high school tournament the first week you're open. Some kid from Texarkana shot what?
Matthew Watkins, he's a senior at New Mexico University from Rockwall, Texas, shot 63 in the first tournament before we opened. Yeah. And of course, it's an unofficial course record because they played from the blue tees. Okay. And then we had Sam Burns come visit. He shot a walk in the park 65. Right. From the back tees. Right. And then
there's your Louisiana.
That's our course. That's our course record, and it was tied by Rhett Sellers, a Longview native, who plays at Rutgers University. He's in his senior year this year, and his picture's on the wall as well as he tied at 65 in a tournament round on the back tees. So in the qualifier.
Now, doesn't his dad work there or something?
His dad did work there. Okay. He has moved to Florida and is currently working in rental equipment business, but also worked part-time at a golf course community in Florida currently. But he was back a couple weeks ago, got to visit with him. So. And
you're going to have, you mentioned to me earlier, you're going to have the TGA State 4-ball.
State 4-ball will be there in 2025. 25. So that's nice. Those kind of things that we love to host those events and get that exposure and have people come from all over. to see the Tempest.
Right.
So there's our goal for stay and play.
There you go.
That's
Yeah. And I know Jack. The reason I said that about the townhouse is that Jackie Cooper said all I ever wanted was a house on top of a hill in East Texas, and I said, "Well, hang in there."
We got it.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But
Melanie mentioned stay and play.
yes,
We've got,
that's another good thing.
2 condos.
We do have it.
We do have it. 2 condos at the end of our driving range that we'll sleep 4 comfortably, and we have those filled almost every weekend. So we'd love to have people come out and spend the weekend with us.
Right, and I love the oil derricks out there on the driving range. Yeah, because I just saw this really cool movie called The Miracle in East Texas, and it's kind of a romantic comedy story about the discovery of oil in East Texas. Kevin Sorbo and his wife made it, and it's a Christian movie.
Right.
It's got real good redemptive quality to it. These were like a couple of con guys that were overselling the leases, and all of a sudden they hit oil. What do?
They weren't overselling.
And then H.L. Hunt comes in and bails them out. And that's the story of Kilgore and Longview and Tyler.
Well, that goes along with the
Texas.
history of East Texas.
Right.
You know, putting those oil derricks up there on our driving range. There's our distance markers.
Now they're little miniature derricks, so
are,
people don't
they
get
are.
freaked
Not
out.
big
Right,
oil derricks.
yeah, right.
They're probably 8 foot tall out there on
Yeah,
the range, and 100 yards, 150, 200, 250, and you know, our range is really it's really nice. Nice big flat tee area where we can move it around quite a bit, and you've got those oil derricks to aim at, and you can see how far you hit your ball, and it's just it's a nice place.
And that's where you find me, at the range.
At the range. Is that
About
where
as
you
far
like to
as
go
I
hit balls?
And speaking of Mr. Bruno, I did give Mr. Bruno a lesson this year.
Oh, you did?
How did
Okay.
that go?
We did. It was interesting.
We have some video?
Yeah, no. But it was good. I think he enjoyed it, and it kind of relieved some stress for him, and I think we'll do that again.
Yeah. I just love your family. I was just thinking about your grandmother that passed away. That was so big a part of that opening night. She is a wonderful human. Yes.
You know, we miss her daily, but yeah, she was the life force of the Brunos, and
right.
So anyway,
tell us a little bit about your specialty is real estate. I had you listed as a real estate specialist. You may have a different title.
I don't know. I think they call me the director of real estate on my official Tempest business card.
Okay.
But so yeah, I moved to Dallas now 12 years ago.
Okay.
And was working for an international jewelry company, and just decided that I couldn't, you know, grow roots. And I was traveling too much and moving around, and so I decided to get into real estate. And I joked with my dad at the time, I'm like, well, I can help you with the golf course. Like, this is kind of a nice, you're selling lots. Hopefully I can learn and evolve and help you. And that's kind of is exactly how it's happened. So I do sell the lots of the course. And we are in the process, we've been in the process for the past, 2-3 years on developing phase 2.
Okay.
Which has moved a little bit. At first it was the townhomes, but now we've transitioned to our, what we call for the moment, our Pinehurst development.
Okay.
So it's a 15-acre tract of land that we are modeling to be a very tight-knit, walkable community.
Okay.
We want to have a walking trail that goes all the way around. We want sidewalks, curb, gutter. We have Liberty City behind us with sewage.
Okay.
So our current lots that we have available, you have to have septic.
Okay.
On Pinehurst, we'll actually be able to offer city sewage,
okay,
which for a lot of people, as well as spec builders and whatnot, is a lot more attainable and,
okay,
and easier to work with. So that is, again, hopefully launching here in the next around 6 months. And I don't know how much more I can tell you guys, except that there will be fantastic views.
Right.
18, 8, 17. This is where I need this guy.
Number 9.
Yeah.
The flag.
The flag. Yeah. So you're up on the hill.
That's right. You have this incredible flag there. It's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
What, third in Texas? Third largest?
Third largest in Texas.
All right.
So you'll have views of all that stuff.
But if people are, people want a second home, or they want to get out of Dallas as they get a little older,
or they want to get out of Tyler, I'm hearing too.
Yeah, it could be, or Shreveport. Yeah. They can go to tempestgolfclub.com and then click on real estate.
Find me. Yep.
And they'll find you. Okay.
And maybe I'll offer up a little bit more information than what I'm doing on this show.
Absolutely. And I wanted to take a minute and talk about you, Randy. Now, you are an East Texas guy. You spent time in Tyler and Commerce, and
I did.
You were. I'm trying to remember the name of the club outside of Canton. That was so cool.
Twin Lakes Golf Course.
Twin Lakes. It's gone away.
10 years there, and we had some highly ranked public golf course, and that was
a tree farm. The South African family owned the tree farm there. They built a course, and then later I think they made it a pasture now, right?
It is a true cow pasture.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
We just
more
recently.
Money in cows.
Well, I played it early on.
golf.
I remember a yellow jacket attack I suffered there, or whatever you call those things that come out of the ground.
They had a tornado come through in April of 2017 and knocked down the nursery office, and the golf course was fine. And the CPA and the insurance people were with Mr. Deckers one day, and trying to decide where they're going to rebuild the nursery office. And he said, you got a little hay over in that field, you got a little cattle over in that field. If you do that on that golf course that's making money, all these millions of dollars in property taxes will cut in half.
Oh, yeah.
So I did recently go out there we bought a couple pieces of equipment for the maintenance department to finish that deal. And it is a cow pasture. There's cows and hay.
He built Mrs. Decker that beautiful home there.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, what do they call it, an Italian villa or something?
Yeah, the villa up on the hill.
And when you would go out there, not that I'm that well traveled, but you thought you were in the wine country because they had all the seedlings up on the hill. And it looked like the wine country.
It did, sure did.
And then now you have the Tempest, so you have the same type of beauty, but
different ambience. But it is an awesome place. Tempest is. I want to invite everyone to come out and spend a day with us and come play and experience what Tempest has to offer.
That's right, and you have a lot of tournaments, and one near and dear to your heart's coming up. This is like the 24th
year for me, 25th year. So I lose count, but it gets gotten bigger and better. It's called our Toy Drive Tournament, annual Toy Drive Tournament. It's on December the 2nd. We just have a few spots left for teams. So if you're interested, please call the Pro Shop and sign up for that. Golfers bring toys. And we fill up Neptunes with toys, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And it'll be 144 golfers that play golf that day, and we
encourage you to dress up. We got a couple Santas.
Yeah, we have a couple Santas, and I think Mrs. Claus is coming
I'm
this
going
year.
to need to dress up this year.
Mrs. Claus.
I need Adam to dress up as the elf.
But and speaking of Louisiana ambiance, I've played with Billy Boudreaux several times. Yeah. And we three-putted the last two greens in a two-man scramble. I'm not proud of that, but it put us at the top of the last flight. And we won some money.
You never know.
You never know.
We flight that after play, so you never know where the numbers fall. So, the golfers get a cash payout. They bring all those toys, and we support a lot of local charities in the area with toys for kids that aren't going to have toys for Christmas. So that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. And I appreciate everyone supporting that has in the past, and we have a lot of good sponsors for that as well.
Right. And I noticed that I'm really impressed with what you guys are doing on social media now. And Lucero is now working with you guys, right?
Yeah, so we hired Lucero.
Lucero Harris.
Lucero Harris, yes. Came highly recommended by Randy, as well as a plethora of other people. So she is helping with our events and weddings, and as well as kind of the general maintenance of the property itself, right? Because if you have a wedding, you want to make sure that the property looks pretty and is in working order. So she has been an absolute wonderful, at least what I can see from afar, addition to the team. And I personally am so happy to have her there.
Yeah, I really like her, and she has two
golfers, right?
Two young golfers.
Yes.
And her husband are both veterans too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're
both veterans, whole family left-handed.
That's
Really?
Yes. All left-handed golfers.
Well, if we really want to get into the finer points of golf, we just had an old, we call it codgers now. It sounds better than geezers tournament. And a lot of people were talking about the advantage of playing left-handed if you're right-handed, because it's easier to see, you know, the path of the ball and your dominant arms leading. I don't know about Lucero's kids, but I'm wondering if that's the case.
I think we just came up with a new tournament.
Oh.
I think you should have a tournament where you switch your dominant hand.
Yeah, the game's not hard enough. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, learn to laugh at yourself even more. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
good.
why not? Hey, look, this is how you have to get through every day if you can't laugh at yourself.
That's right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Elizabeth, the daughter, we'll probably see her on the tour someday.
Yeah, I understand she's very good, and you're still doing something with the first tee of the Piney Woods, right?
Yeah, we have first tee Piney Woods. We'll be out there on Thursdays in the spring and the fall, and then I have my golf academy as well. This goes on throughout the year. It's a year-round program, and
Is that right?
of course we encourage those kids to go from golf camp, and then those that want more, we encourage them to get in golf academy, and then we encourage them to go to the Northern Texas Junior PGA and start playing tournaments there.
Right.
And so we're trying to grow the game that way.
Right.
Well, get ready for Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver's coming.
Oliver and Penny.
Next week we have a little junior camp over Thanksgiving holiday.
You still hear from Jeff Brower?
Yes, occasionally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure do. He's retired now.
I was going to say, he's trying to enjoy life.
Consulting stuff.
Well, he is now, I don't know, the liaison for the Golf Architects Society of America. He's got a cool job, and you know, I'm trying to think of some of the courses. He did the Tempest, of course, that we're talking about. He also did Tangle Ridge and
Cowboys Club.
Cowboys Club. Those are three really good ones there. But some of Jeff's best work is up in Minnesota. He gets a lot of accolades for his courses up in Minnesota. And he's just a wonderful guy to talk golf with and so forth. And I don't know if y'all have changed any of the holes at all, or are they basically all the same? Or
no, we haven't made any changes to anything as far as that is. We're improving some of the areas and making sure the irrigation's right, continuous improvement on what we're doing outside as well as inside.
And your green fees are very, very reasonable. Golf is getting so crazy expensive. I don't know if y'all know that or not.
Well,
but I saw something on the Facebook that it's $700 to play the TPC course in Ponte Vedra.
Wow.
For one round.
Yeah.
For 4 hours of your life.
Probably 5. It's a little slow there. but you're right. Yeah, but you're like underneath $100, right?
$89 on the weekend, $65 during the week. And
that's good.
And we also have a senior rate of $55.
So you're saying we should raise our rates?
Weekday.
No, well, I'm saying you're talking to the worst person in the world to talk about that. I still think these prices ought to be like they were when I was in college, which was a while ago, and they're not. But it's affordable.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not cheap. It's affordable, but
it is affordable. And a lot of times people don't realize they come out there and see this beautiful golf course. It takes a lot to maintain that beautiful golf course.
Oh my goodness.
Really
Well, and what we've learned too, we've mentioned a couple, or you guys have mentioned a couple times with the topography and the rolling hills. When it rains,
hard property,
a Tempest level rain, I mean, the name is really pretty perfect, right? We'll get downpours, we've had to improve some of that, right? Because of the irrigation, the water, and the erosion. And that's probably one of our most difficult issues that we're dealing with. It's challenging for all involved.
No, it really is. In fact, we just made some improvements on 4 where we've got a creek that was eroding so much it was going to probably get into one of our cart paths in the near future.
You hate to do that on 10, I think.
Yeah.
What am I forgetting to ask you guys? I want to read from your website. And then this will be the final plug for the real estate. One of the biggest advantages of living at Tempest Golf Clubs is its close proximity to Dallas and Shreveport without the hustle and bustle of the bigger cities. Just 100 miles from downtown Dallas, 60 miles from Shreveport. The Tempest development of Tempest Golf Club offers the best of both worlds, a small rural atmosphere with the nearby conveniences of a big city. The natural terrain overlooking the Par 72 golf course makes it a one-of-a-kind development in East Texas. One of the most important factors that distinguish the Tempest development at Tempest Golf Club from other communities in the area is our dedication to preserving the natural environment, you spoke to that earlier, and wildlife habitat of the area. Residents have ample opportunity to enjoy the natural beauty while participating in sports or leisure activities. And I would just add to that, when I was working on your story, I drove from Medical Center Tyler, not that Longview does not have good medical facilities, they do. I had a little episode in August and went to the Christus Good Shepherd, that's on the north, the new one, and it was wonderful, the treatment I got there from both the doctors and the nurses. But it's literally 35 minutes from Medical Center, which is where the UT Medical School is now going in Tyler, UT Tyler Medical School. So I think that speaks well. You know, you have great medical facilities handy, and you're in East Texas, and it's pretty. And I know with you at the helm, it's going to be done right. It's going to be developed right.
Slow and steady. I mean, literally, we are not looking to, you know, a couple of people have asked, well, why don't you lower prices and sell? We're not looking to do that. We're looking to find the right people that understand our values and what we're trying to build. To us, that's way more important. We've spent way too much time and money in this course to just, you know, let it all go away. So
good.
Looking for the right folks.
Good.
Absolutely.
And you got the tournaments coming up, and I think one of the things you do is you host a lot of tournaments, right?
We do host a lot of tournaments at Tempest, and it does help pay for some of that fertilizer. But you know, we have a lot of charity tournaments, a lot of people trying to raise money for different things, and we do what I think is a bang-up job and putting those on and hosting to help people do that.
And the website is tempestgolfclub.com, right?
Yes, sir.
Tempestgolfclub.com. Melanie Till, real estate specialist or director of real estate?
Yes.
And you're the director of golf operations. I like that. I like that. And you have a good staff there, right? Too. You always have several
excellent. The pro shop
and wonderful merchandise, which I'm modeling today.
Yeah, you've got a few of those. You need to freshen up a little bit. Pat. I don't see you enough.
I always remember Melanie is so cool. I made the comment, I should have brought an extra shirt. And she goes, we sell them 20 feet from you. And I went,
I can help you, Pat.
I can take a hint.
I can help you, Pat.
I can take a hint. And you said I picked out the perfect shirt. Nice and blue and so forth. So.
It brings out your eyes.
Exactly.
All you blue-eyed boys. I would only wear blue if I were y'all.
Yeah. I didn't tell my New Orleans story I was going to tell, but that's okay.
Everyone's got one.
I know.
I think you should tell that, though.
Well, I've already forgotten the name of the store again. So
Rubenstein's.
Rubenstein's, yeah. That's one of my favorite stories of New Orleans. I was there at a convention. We were staying at the Fairmont downtown. We had a break in the action. I went to Rubenstein's to shop for men's clothing, and Renee came up to wait on me, and he was a very nice, handsome guy, all decked out, and he took a feel of my jacket. I had my best navy blue pinstripe suit on. And he goes, Sears? And he shamed me into buying a navy blue, what was the name of it? I told you earlier, the British
Burberry.
Burberry sport coat for $350 at the time, which was 30 years ago, or maybe 40 years ago. You said it'd be about $1,000 now, or $2,000.
Oh, minimum, I would say $2,500.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't let that one go, but I don't think I have it anymore. But anyway, that's that good New Orleans ambiance that you have. That's kind of creeps in there.
Attention to detail. Yeah.
Yes. And I want to thank you and your family for doing this as an East Texan. And Randy, I want to thank you for your commitment.
We couldn't.
Nobody
do it without
works
this guy.
harder than Randy Wade.
Yeah.
And looks after every detail. And most of all, and I know this is selfish, I want to thank you for how you've supported me with DFW Links, with Texas Links on the Air radio show, and now Hit It Where They Mow, Talking Golf in Texas. You've been a great, great supporter of me and the endeavors I do for golf. And so, folks, do yourself a favor and get in your little car and drive over to Gladewater near Longview to the Tempest Golf Club, 2 miles off the interstate. Very easy to get there.
Easy.
And play some golf, eat some good food, and tell a few lies about how well you played. I always remember that. One of my friends got me a birthday card, great movies that were named about golf. And it was, instead of Boys in the Hood, it was Boys in the Woods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then the final one was The Lion King, L-Y-I-N-G, Lion King. But anyway, thank you, Melanie, for being here today.
Thank you, Pat, for having
Did
us.
I forget to ask anything?
I don't think so, right?
No? Randy, anything
I think you covered
omitted?
everything.
Well, that'll do it for episode 9 of Hit It Where They Mow, Talking Golf in Texas, and we'll be back next week with another episode. But again, TempestGolfClub.com. Treat yourself to a round there. Maybe do a stay and play trip, but go and see it if you haven't, or go back if you haven't been there in a while. And we'll see you next week on our show.